Hey, Andy, Jimmy, how is your Thursday?
Great, Scott. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Hey, what's going on over there, Andy? Yep, definitely an interesting tape to say the least, as we were talking about. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's push could come to shove here pretty soon. We'll talk about more of that in the market recap, but it hasn't been easy for anybody. Anytime you're kind of stuck in a range, it always makes it a little bit tough, but that's all right. That's what Trade Ideas is for, to help you find that opportunity. Hello, Waleed, and all you other guys out there, the regulars, and thank you for coming. Those who may be in here for the first time, checking us out, think you'll be entertained. Uh, I'm Andy. My sidekick there is Jamie, and we'll dive in just a second. We got to go through the disclaimer and a couple of other slides, and then we'll start getting into some good content. All right, everybody, you know this is for educational purposes only. We reiterate, okay, we're just content providers. Nothing that you hear or that you see should be construed as investment advice. Okay, if you are looking for investment advice, you might want to seek out somebody who is licensed to do that, to give you that advice, and that would be a stockbroker, a registered advisor. But we are going to have some fun. Let's get moving on to the next slide to talk about our 5-star support, education, and training. All right, we got 4 webinars Monday through Thursday, every day at 5 Eastern time. Okay, the same time slot. It's going to be either me and Jamie, or Steve and Jamie, or Steve and I is going to be juggling 3 of those. And then on Wednesday, you'll get Dan Merkin, our CEO, and Brad Williams, our CTO, who will open it up for a lot of Q&A and a lot of demo. In other words, showing you things that are coming around the corner. Always got irons in the fire here at Trade Ideas, constantly updating our versions. And geez, I can remember using software where I wouldn't have to upgrade it, update it for 2 years. It seems like you have to do it every 2 weeks here. But anyway, one last thing too is, let's not forget our traders room. I'm sure most of you have been in there by now. If you haven't, it is free for everybody. Okay. It's moderated by Barry, who's a very good trader and also a very good moderator. He keeps the room clean and keeps all the riffraff out. It's a great room, a lot of good traders in there. You can find some really good ideas, whether you're an advanced trader or whether you're a beginner. It's a great place to go and hang out. You can see our software in action. So, and then on Fridays, we have our Friday support session. Okay, if you haven't been to that, check in tomorrow. It's at 11 a.m. You do have to register for this. And it's just a straight up Q&A. So if you have any questions that you'd like to talk to about the software, even trading, just come on in there. It'll be myself, Jamie, Steve, and Sean, and we have a good time. And we also get a lot of people helped with their questions. Hey, Mike, how are you, buddy? All right. And not only that, we have what's called TI University. This is a 4-part class. We do this start on every Monday at 12 Eastern, same time every other day. It's just kind of a graduating class. You can kind of see how it advances there each day. And it's an hour curriculum. So there's plenty of content there for you to learn about trade ideas. And then at the end of that, for 30 minutes, we open it up for questions and answers. So even if you've been with the Trade Ideas for a few months, you can always come back in here and take this course. If you're unavailable during those hours, we do have this recorded on our YouTube channel. Just go to our YouTube channel and find the playlist. You will find TI University in there. All right, guys. I am testing. Jamie's also testing, and Steve now started testing this paper trader. It's going to be coming out real soon. We're shooting for the end of the month. It's going to be close, but regardless, if it's not, it'll only be a couple of days after that. It's a way for you to test your trading strategies and portfolio management skills directly within Trade Ideas. You do not have to have a broker account, okay, to paper trade. No longer have to open a broker account and fund it. You can do it directly on Trade Ideas, okay? It uses our Brokerage Plus interface, which is really cool, and been talking about this for some time now. And like I said, down there at the end, it's coming soon, hopefully real soon, hopefully by the end of the month. But I am doing all I can to get it done, and so are the developers. So almost there, guys. Yeah, Eric, it's gonna be a good one. Okay, the agenda for today, we're going to talk about the market recap, as we always do. I'm going to talk about a couple of bottoming tails that we've seen in the last few days where the market's tried to sell off and buyers have stepped in. Seems like at the end or midway through the day, and we got some nice, I think about 3 bottoming tails in the SPYs and Qs. So we'll talk about that, what that could mean. Jamie's going to go over the Holly recap. Holly's been really doing well lately, been finding some really big gainers with a strategy called Mighty Mouse. And today, I mean, a tough market, tough tape anytime you gap up and sell off and then come back and bouncing back at the end. But anyway, I think there's a few good trades in there actually. And then we have some new position and range filters. I do not know if you have access to, I know we had a release this morning. I don't know if it was made public. I think Waleed may know about that. Waleed, do you have the position in 3 and 6 and 9 month range yet? Because if you do, great. If not, we can still go over that. He's not getting back to me. I stepped away for a little bit. Okay, you don't. That's okay. You guys are going to be getting them real soon, and I'm going to show them to you today. And just kind of, I didn't build anything real advanced just because I knew I probably couldn't share it with you because you didn't have the filters yet. So, but we're going to talk about how you can use these things to just kind of work together on building and using these things. All right, let's back out of this and pull up the SPYs after I get me a drink of water here. All right, let's pull up. The SPYs are up. Let's pull up the big old chart here and zoom in a little bit. And guys, you know, I've been kind of pounding the table. It gets real frustrating each time we keep hitting new all-time highs and just nothing, just no enthusiasm. We just cannot break and go. Volume doesn't really come in. If it does, it seems like it comes to the downside. Kind of experienced that again here the last couple of weeks. Tried again. Now we're back down. We're below our 10 and our 20. The one thing that's encouraging, it's interesting, I think we need to keep an eye on, is 3 days in a row now we tried to sell off and we put in what's called bottoming. We could call those rejection tails. I think Barry likes to call them every now and then, where tried to sell off on these 2 days, caught the 50 and bounced back up. And you can see today it got nowhere near the 50 and bounced back up. This could be very constructive. Let's see what happens. Maybe this ends up being a nice little cup, you know, and here's our handle forming. I don't know, but I tell you what, if it happens and we get up here and we peter again, I'm gonna, until it changes, I think you have to, sell highs, all-time highs, at least if you got some good gains in some stocks, because everybody else is going to be doing it as of late. We'll see what happens. Just seems like we have a hard time, moving higher every time we get up there. But since now we don't have the huge long running start getting up there, maybe we just needed to back up a little bit and, like Steve likes to say, give the troops a meal and a nap and whatever, and then try it again from here. We could have some staying power and some power to drive through. Yes, Eric. Topping tails and bottoming tails. I think I have a couple of alert windows or top list called that as well. All right, let's take a look around to the other big indices here. Let's go pull up the Qs. And once again, same thing there. We obviously dove below the 50 a couple of times here. Averages are not really in play here, but once again, we've had some nice little bottoming tails here. Let's see if we can build off that. If we can't, it could get ugly. We could be, back in this nasty range, back down here in the Qs. The SPYs could fall back below this very important pivot level right here that we've been talking about for a while now, and back in this range, yeah, I think things could get a little dicey if that happens. I mean, the Qs are almost, already there. They keep bouncing up, but, pretty much, back in this range, not far from it without, if it's not bouncing, it's there. So how about the IWM? We always see keep an IWM, keep it on the radar. Not good. Once again, this one, small tails. Look at those small tails right at that 50. Almost looks too perfect, but we'll see what happens. But still, weaker candle today. Shorter tail, more the body is down toward the low, closing, much closer to the low. So a different picture over there. Need to keep an eye on the IWM, but let's take a look at diamonds real quick. And very similar to what we saw in the SPYs, another, a lot of 3 bottoming tails. So I think if we can, poke above, back above in the major averages, back above this 10 period, and we could, something could happen. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe next week we make another advance on this all-time high again to see if we can get through it. If not, yeah, we just got to be aware we can get right back into this mucky range. But Jamie, anything you want to add?
No, I mean, when you're in the when you're in the slop, you're in the slop,
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's true. That pretty much sums it up, Jamie. When you're in the slop, you're in the slop. Sounds like something Yogi Berra was.
Yeah.
Yogi Berra. All right, Jamie, I'm gonna let you. That's not a whole lot I need to add to the market recap there. I'll let you take her away, and we'll
sure.
talk
And
about
Holly, risk on, risk off spread is going to be pretty short and sweet today. Well, because well, we can only talk about what happens, and we can see Holly cumulatively had 21 signals over here if you tally them all up, and just kind of coming in with a lackluster, barely up anything once you tally everything together here. So we got 29 there, maybe up $7, which we could just basically call a flat, in other words. So Holly was scratched today on 21 trades, and after the performances that she has been turning in with the small caps, she's had a pretty good run as of late, but just kind of treading water today. And regarding the sloppy mess that we're in, the range, not out of the ordinary. So there are 2 examples. Here we are. We have Holly's all trades blotter displayed here. A lot of red today, 1, 2, 3, 4 stop hits, which is pretty uncharacteristic. Usually you don't see that many. But we did have a little, actually only 2 trades today where we can even address any risk off, risk on spread. These 2 were identical, issued at the exact same time from different modules, but the exact same strategy. We can see the times over here exact. So duplicate trade here. We got a little bit of spread in KL because she closed that one out in a reduced risk. So let's just go ahead and look at KL first, which was a short from Holly Grail. Bond shorty kicking out that trade. Man, you would have thought that shorts would have just cleaned up today, but not really the case. They just kind of hit brick walls and stalled out and just kind of flopped around. So you could say the same thing for the upside. But we did have a nice little 49-cent spread here in OXM between risk off and risk on. Classic Holly getting out early. So on the KL, we can see short right here. Hey, this looks familiar. What happens after Holly executes the trade or calls out the signal? We get a little dance around the entry line here. But I guess this bar got a little too big. She couldn't take the pressure anymore, and she called that reduced risk audible and closed out a 29-cent loser right about here where the orange arrow is. I got to compress this chart a little bit so we can see the stop loss. Hey, here's the thing to pay attention to. Yeah, a little wiggle, but hey, far and away from this hard-coded stop up here. And especially on days like today, it's probably a good idea to stick to your hard stops. We can see what happened shortly after Holly books her 29-cent loser. All we had to do is basically say, you know what, we're staying in. Things aren't too crazy here as we ebb and flow around that entry line. And sure enough, as soon as she closes it, 15 minutes later, 30 minutes later, we get that little breakdown. Now this one didn't go very far, showing 89 cents going into the close, and right here maybe up maximum this trade could have yielded was about $1.09, and that's assuming, down here at the lows, which, sometimes we'll close something out on the lows, sometimes we'll close something out on the highs, but that is the exception and not the norm. Looking over here at the daily, we could have, this line is already here, basically from the short-term chart, but just bouncing against this little area of, well, we could call that support. We got the prior wick from the day before, which also could have given us a little confidence to stay in the trade. But nothing to write home about, just a decent little trade with Holly and a decent spread between risk off and risk on of over 100% there, 40 versus 89. Or excuse me, on the KL there, almost a doubler, 29 cents to the negative side and 27. Now, OXM. Just the same thing, but to the upside here. Got a nice clean entry signal, 71.75. Hey, pain-free trade for the most part. We just get a lift immediately. Not really sure why Holly called the profit save on this one. Maybe if we looked at 5-minute intervals, this spread out a little bit more. But typically the telltale sign is a little consolidation area. I've got 15-minute candles up here. She just happened to get out on the bottoming wick on that candle as well. And, we're seeing nothing but upside momentum here. So same song and dance, either stay in the whole lot, a break-even stop would have kept you even on, or kept you in the trade here, even if you chose to say, okay, I'm going to take half off the table with Holly, keep that other half. And it was just, as far as all the trades that I saw going on today, this one worked about as good as any that you'll ever see. Just a nice little float up, with some vacillation there. But, 40 cents versus 89, nice 49-cent spread in there. Even if you got an extra dime, quarter, 20 cents, that sure does add up over time. Not really a whole lot of difference between where it finished and the highs of the day, 72.57, and looks like we tapped out at a high of 84 there. So maybe at the top, an extra 20 cents on the table. But that's really about it for Holly today, Andy. Just kind of a lackluster performance, flat on this many trades. Hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, she's last couple of weeks she has been doing fantastic. So she can slip a little bit. It's anytime you drop back down into these funky ranges, I'm telling you, it gets hard for any strategies out there. So hopefully at some point we'll get a nice breakout, or what I prefer would be about a 30% sell off. But anyway.
Yes, hey, something to get the party started. Hey, I don't care if we get sustained downside or sustained upside, as long as we get some kind of motion in the ocean.
Yeah, exactly.
That is all good. It's the chop that gets us. Okay, let me kick it back over to you.
All right. All righty, can you see it?
Yep.
All right, Vladimir, let me read your question there real quick. Yeah, that shouldn't be the case. Now that wasn't an issue on mine. Maybe you were looking at the exit time, because I'm showing only a 19-minute hold on that one. The entry time was 1 o'clock. I'm on Central, and the exit time was 1:19. So I bet you were thinking that exit time was an entry time.
Oh, on the OXM, Andy? Yeah.
Yeah, or he's on Mountain Time. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was definitely, Jamie, you're showing the same entry times, right, that as I am, the 1 o'clock?
Right, because I'm in Central Time. Eastern Time was 1 hour ahead. Mountain Time?
Mountain Time should not be showing 2 p.m. Yeah.
Right, you might want to check your local settings, or his, if you want to show him how to check his time settings.
I'll show you how to do that. You can go in here, go to Tools, Options, and go to Time Options, and make sure you're on local time and not on Eastern time. That might be it. And if that wasn't the problem, I would say screenshot it. See if you can screenshot that and send it to info@trade-ideas.com. William, yeah, risk on and risk off. Risk off is basically, to just keep it simple, risk off is taking, if you see these 5 trades here, I have only profitable trades showing up on mine, so I'm going to keep it simple here. So of the 5 trades that were profitable today, okay, 4 of them, the exit reason was timed exit, which means these things are optimized for a hold time of X. So a hold time of 45 minutes, a hold time of 60 minutes, maybe an all day hold time. But for whatever that optimization is, when that time reaches that exit time, it's going to close out, okay? Profit save, this is when we have an algo built in when there's so much profit in an alert, okay? Once it starts to give back X amount of that profit, it will get out for a reason called profit save. These are all exit reasons. So if you are in risk off, you are basically getting out for whatever exit reason Holly gets out for. So, okay, so you're ringing the bell and taking profits when you're profitable or cutting losses when you're down. Risk on is if you hold the trade all the way till the end of the day and you ignore the exit reasons, except for stop. Once a stop hit, it freezes and there's no calculation in any direction after that, okay? So basically risk off, you know, we give you these so you'll have a good idea. Maybe at the end of the day, you can always look back and see, oh, well, if I'd have held on to this thing, if I'd have held on this OXM, I would have made another $100 here, you know, so to kind of give you an idea. And then when you're trading these things and Holly gets out for a reason and everything is still intact, you're looking over here at the daily, you're looking at this level and you're thinking, wow, it looks like it may go to this high over here, which it eventually did. Maybe you just stay, maybe you, when Holly gets out, you're saying, you know what, I think this has more in it. I'm going to go risk on. I'm going to stay in, okay? So that's the difference. Risk off is just taking Holly's exit when she takes some. Risk on is holding till the end of the day. For the day while 2.0 and NEO are still on. Let's see. Let me see here. Brian, if you could, yeah, you're asking a lot. We have content to present today, and you're asking a lot of questions. Jamie answers some of you there.
Yeah, I mean, trailing stops, I mean, there is a certain allure to them, but unless the stock is really trending, you know, a lot of the times you get that small bar reversal and it's going to plug you out. I mean, it's just like any stop loss out there. And if you're applying stop losses in an intraday environment, that's just a tough game. As Andy and myself can attest, a lot of stop running algos. There are algorithms out there that the market makers run to flush out stops. Doesn't matter if it's a trailing stop, a hard stop. You know, when you're using stops on an intraday basis, it's a tough game, no matter what type of stop it is.
Yeah, and honestly, I have done so much back testing, and I've tried to implement some trailing stops, and I have found out that my optimized time hold always works better than my doing a trailing stop. It seems like trailing stops just always get you out of good trades. Now, you mentioned swing trading and investing and things like that. We have a lot more of that coming down the pike. I'm working on some swing trading stuff. As a matter of fact, I presented something in here, you know, over the last 2 weeks, and I was in here. You can go back and look at those archived videos on our YouTube channel. Just find, you know, Andy's Trading Studio and look at they're on every Thursday, so you should be able to find the dates and dig them up. There's some good swing trading ideas in there. But all good stuff. Yeah, and we look forward to what's coming around the corner with that stuff. Yeah, Brian, if you have a chance, definitely come to our Q&A on Fridays. Okay, then we open that up and we can answer a lot of those questions for you. If you can make it, you may work. I don't know, but it's at 11 Eastern time. All right. So Waleed sent me a message. You guys probably saw that, where he says in the latest version of 0.99, if you guys have it, you do have the new position in range filter. So let's just pull it up to see what we're talking about here. We're going to go to new. We're just going to go to alert window. We're going to start from scratch. And we're going to go to search, and we're just going to type position in. And you're going to see here we've added, excuse me, position in 3-month range, position in 6-month range, and a position in 9-month range. For those of you, I think this is going to be better, more for swing trading, some swing trading ideas, and for maybe some longer term investing ideas. Probably not the best, going to be the best filters. I don't know why we don't have icons in there. I need to tell that to those guys about that. But anyway, yeah, I've always tell people, if you can imagine a chart in your head, you can pretty much build it with our position and range filters. And this is just going to help, a lot with those patterns as you're maybe looking for opportunity for stocks that have pulled back. Or maybe you're looking for stocks about to break down out of a 3-month range. I guess this can go both ways if you're shorting or going long. But so what I wanted to do today was just kind of think, how we could put these things into play. So I've built 3 top lists, and these are not incredible, like earth-shattering, oh man, golden goose type top lists. These are just where you can get ideas. They're just scans where maybe you can look for opportunity. Maybe you can find stocks that you've been kind of tracking, keeping an eye on, that, whoa, now they're kind of down to a level that may be of interest. So the main focus, once again, is this position in range. That's all I'm doing with these top lists. And before I get started, I'm going to tell you what I do when I'm looking to build something. Okay, let's just pull this up right here. And I'm always thinking in my head. So I'm thinking to myself, how could I use these, longer term position in range, to benefit, maybe find opportunity in the marketplace. So I'm thinking, well, obviously, I could always do position and range, near highs, because that's going to show a lot of stuff, because it's going to be inside, if it's at the high of its 30-day range, it's also going to be, or 3-month range, it's also going to be probably at the high of its 20-day range, its 10-day range, its 5-day range. So I thought it'd be more advantageous if I built things that were at the low end of these ranges, maybe looking for opportunity stocks that are coming and finding support, or finding a moving average along these levels. So I said to myself, okay, first of all, I'm going to try to build one where I can find major support, okay? Stocks that may be on major support using all the ranges. And then I said to myself, well, I'd like to find stocks that may be constructive over a longer term time frame, but now they're pulling back and they're on the 3-month low. Okay, maybe there's some opportunity there. Obviously, it's in a long-term uptrend, and maybe you're buying some at the right price on this pullback. And then I asked myself, I said, another one I would like to see, I'd like to see stocks that are pulling back the low end of their 3-month range, but maybe, still above their 200-day moving average, or close to their 200-day moving average. That may be interesting. So I'm just going to pull these over. I kind of, I didn't want to do each one of these. I didn't have time to do them all, in this class today, or in this webinar today. So I'm just going to pull them over one at a time. And the first one I'm going to pull over is major support, because I think it has a couple of them in there anyway. All right, so I wanted to find stocks that are on major support. Okay, how could I do this? Well, I'm just going to pull it open instead of trying to tell you. All right, so this is a top list, so there's no alerts. It's all filters. Okay. And what do we have here? Okay, the price has to be above $5. These are pretty straightforward filters here. Average daily volume. I'm looking for stocks that trade 500,000 shares or higher. Position in year range. I got a little minimum down here of 1. Okay. So what I don't want to do is find these stocks that are just crashing, you know, to all-time lows. Okay. I want it to be inside its year range. Okay. Position in 3-month range. Okay, I want it at the lower end of its 3-month range. That's why I got a maximum of 10. If I click on this show me button, it is going to tell us, why is it not giving me the option for, oh well. Anyway, this max is 10%. Okay, for those of you guys who may be new in here, every time you're looking at a range, the low end of the range is 0% and the high end is 100%. Okay, so if I put a max of 10%, let me see if it shows me on this 6-month range. Any reason, Jamie? Guys, I'm on a new developmental version that just came out today, so it should, I don't know why it's not spelling it out for me.
Now in the histogram, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, why is it not giving me the other tab for in words?
I think probably just due to the fact it's a new filter, something went wacky.
Yeah.
Went wacky in there,
Yeah,
and it's
I
not
think
showing
so.
up yet. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No problem. No problem. So anyway, what I've done here is I took the position in 3-month range. I want it at the lower 10% of that 3-month range. I've done the same thing for the position in the 6-month range. Okay, I got a max of 10%, which means it cannot be any more than 10% off the low end of the 6-month range. That's 10% of the range, not 10% of the price. So let's say the range is $10 over the last 6 months. Okay, it could not be over $1. Okay, from that low. Position in 9-month range, did the same thing with it. So I got all these ranges have to be in the lower portion of each range. And then I had to throw this position in year range just to make it interesting, because that kind of creates more of support, because it means that this thing cannot be, you know, crashing through today and be, you know, well below its yearly range. So anyway, let's see if this worked. All right, so we'll just go through and click on some of these. Some of these things are going to kind of be wonky, I know. Like I think this one is. All right, so this one is kind of out of whack, because this goes back to 1, 2. So yeah, this one, yearly range, that would be the low. So it doesn't look at today's action. So really this is kind of odd, because the last 2 days have major sell-offs. So let's move on to the next one. And like I said, you're probably going to have to just kind of use these things to search and look around. Well, here's an interesting one. Okay, you have a pattern here. You got a base right there. Come on. Come on. Oh, I guess that's it. But look at that support. So you got support right here. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this is going to hold and bounce up, but it kind of gives you an idea. Maybe you want to go, if it breaks down below yesterday's low, maybe you want to short it. But what this is going to do is, and you can see where you can get creative. Look at this one. It's ugly. There's nothing really pretty about that, but there is, once again, you know, major support. Whether it breaks through that or not, you still have to call it support.
Hey Andy,
So
there was a question that popped up real quick there about the year value setting that you put in there.
Yep.
1 versus 10 or 10%. Was it different than the 3, 6, and 9?
Okay, let me see here. You didn't set 1 year to, no. That was different, because I'm just trying. Now I could have come in here and said, let me just, for grins, let's just do this. So if we wanted to make it even probably stronger, so we wouldn't get stocks that are kind of just falling out of the bed, we could come in here and put 10. Now this is a minimum. It's not like a max over here. Position in year range. What I'm trying to do with this filter, Anthony, is just prevent the stock from just being in a spiral down, because if it's in a spiral down, it's going to be on the low of all these ranges. So let's put in, this is probably going to eliminate a lot of them by doing this. Let's see if it even works, get anything in there. Okay, now I put in 10%. You're going to find stocks that are probably a little more constructive, see, because here's the low over here, okay? We cannot be lower than 10% of the range. So I think you're gonna find this across the board here. See, there's another one. So by putting in 1% as the minimum, I'm trying to prevent stocks from, you know, just having like a couple of days of really bad sell-off. You know, I'm trying to find, you know, support. Probably the right thing to do. Let me go in here and put 5%. This is what I wanted to do today. I'm not trying to give you guys a great alert or scan, okay? I'm trying to help you when you're building these things of just giving you ideas. Okay, so if I put position in your range, let's click on the show me button and see what it says. The price is at least 5% above the low end of this range, okay? So we know the stock is in its 1 year range, but we also know it is at the low of its 9, 6, and 3 month range, okay? Just by thinking about that, you should get it in your mind that, man, that could be showing a lot of support areas, and sure enough, it is. Okay, so let's put in 5 and see what happens. Should get a little more. And we did. So now we got stocks that are, you know, you're going to find areas of support. Okay, they are pulled back. You know, I'm not trying to find things that are pulling back to a buy point. I'm trying to find stocks that are sitting on maybe pivot levels. You know, like this. You got an area here. You got an area there. You got an area there. You know, maybe areas, and then not only that, you got a bottoming tail yesterday. Of course, it didn't work today. So what I'm trying to do with this one is just find stocks that may have some decent support areas. You got about 5 months right there. Let's see, did we just look at that one? It looks awful similar to something else we just looked at, but you can see the support. Very nice one right there. Look at that. Look at all that support right there. This all comes from the creation of the alert. Now, what this is going to do, and this is a IPO that this was the first day of trading, okay? Came down, tried to break that IPO opening, didn't do it. Now here we are again, flirting. This could be a great short. I'm not saying it is, but if it breaks down through the IPO opening, it's already below $10, you know, or if it holds this level for a third time and starts turning up, maybe it could be a great long. Just trying to give you ideas on how you can use these filters to find areas of support. Let's take a look at this work. There's Slack, Jamie. That's a new issue, so that's not gonna really work that much.
Oh, and there's a lot of those, a lot of new issues getting beat up pretty good.
Yep. Oh yeah, somebody mentioned that too earlier. Yeah. Ulta. Now look at here. Here's one that it's in the lower end of its, you know, ranges. 30. If you look at the 30-day range, it's going to go back here, and boy, it's got a nice little level right over here that it's trying to hold. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next one. This is one that I built where we're just trying to, you know, find areas of support just by using those position and range filters on longer term time frames. Okay, so the next one, I thought, well, why don't I build one that is on a 3 month low, but it's got a nice longer term uptrend. Okay, so how would I do that? Well, what I wanted to do is coming here. There's probably other ways to do this. You could use moving averages, I think. There's several ways you could do this, but what I want to do, I wanted to use the position and range filters. So I went into configuration, basically took that last one and changed it up a little bit. All right. So the position in year range, I want a minimum of 25%. I could have made this higher, okay? Position in a 3-month range is the same, okay? We're trying to find those that have been beaten up on a 3-month time frame, okay? So we know now it's at pretty much near the lows of the last 3 months. But if you look at the change in the 1 year, I'm hoping we get change for the 3 and 6 and 9 months, but I'm not going to push my luck because I really like these change in filters too. I like to work them in correlation with the position and range filters. So what this is telling me is even though the stock, okay, has been selling off for the last 3 months, okay, and it's in the lower end of its 3-month range, it's still up 5% on the year, okay? Maybe this would be a good buying opportunity, okay? So let's take a look. And it's funny because Facebook was in this earlier. I'm not sure what happened. It probably just moved up high enough to get out of that 10%. I'm gonna try something real quick just to see if it can get that thing. Because these things are subjective and you can always come in here if you want to get a little more data, a few more symbols in there. You could maybe raise this up to 15. I bet you by doing this, I'm gonna get Facebook. Don't fail me, Facebook. There it is. Okay. So it was just out of that 10% just from that bounce because earlier it was in here. But this is a great example. Okay, what do you have here? You have a longer term trend that is higher. Okay, you have a stock that is near a 3-month low here. This is also interesting because you have a 200-day moving average. Okay, we know Facebook is a very loved stock, one of the high flyers in the queues, makes up a good portion of the queues. Maybe this would be interesting, okay, if it holds that 3-month low. Let's take a look at some of the others just so we're getting there's another one, okay? You are in a nice uptrend, okay? Just by using that filter, the stock had to be up 5% over the last year. Because remember, this is even after it is on a 3-month low or near a 3-month low, it's still up 5% for the year. This is sitting on a very important pivot level, once again, right here. Now, it breaks that, it could get ugly, but nonetheless, you're still trying to find stocks that may hold on because a lot of times, guys, you can get these things that see one of them happened today. I think I found it in another one. I think it was Disney. Let me show you. I think Disney might have been in here. Yeah, look at Disney today. This is what I'm talking about. You got a nice, this was on a 3-month low, on a 6-month low, and look at that. Everybody, I guarantee you, so many people got this thing. Oh man, Disney's broke. Next thing you know, it's putting in a big old wick, and closing up right back at that 3-month low again. So a lot of times, guys, these can become, nice, entries. But let's see if we got any more here. Let me see if I'm missing any questions. Couldn't the 1 year also be looked at as a magnet down? Not sure what you mean by that, Anthony. You're talking about the change in 1 year? No, not really. I mean, to me, if a stock, if the market, let's say the market's only up 2% of the year and your stock's up at least 5% on the year, many of these going to be up, more. I didn't put a change in year column here, but most of these are going to be relatively strong. I mean, since the market over the last year is probably up, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2%. And if these stocks are up 5, 7, 8, 10%, they're relatively strong. So And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that these are great ideas for buying. I'm just saying they're at critical levels where they've pulled back. They're still up. I have to put me an alert right there just in case that bad boy ever wants to fill the gap. Yeah, all I'm trying to do here is when you look at the longer picture, it's a longer term downtrend and it is pulling back at the lower end of its 30-day range. Okay, that doesn't mean it's going to bounce, not at all. You know, a lot of it's probably going to depend on the market, what the market's going to do. But if they do hold, they could be, you know, buying opportunities because of the longer term trend. Trends tend to stay intact. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm getting at here. All right, let's see. There's one other. Okay, so this is something I built, you know, just to show you how you can use other filters along with the one. And then I started thinking. I said, well, how about and you're probably going to see a lot of the same stocks in this one. I wanted to find stocks that are on a 3-month low, right, or close to the 3-month low, but they're above their 200-day moving average. Okay, you're going to eliminate a lot by doing this. Okay, because a lot of the ones I just showed you, okay, are below their 200-day moving average. Okay, so basically all I did was come in here and position in 15-month range. Once again, I'm using 15. You could use 10. You know, like I said, this is subjective. But look, change from 200-day moving average. Now I'm using a negative 0.05, okay? So the price is no more than 0.05% below the 200-day moving average. So I'm okay seeing it wick through the 200-day moving average. I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to just hold firm. I know algos are designed to try to shake people out around major moving averages and things like this. This is why I'm kind of roll on the downside. So it can be a little bit below the 200-day moving average. That's fine. That's fine with me. But very simple filter configuration here, just close to a 3-month range, but above the 200-day moving average. And like I said, you're going to see a lot. Facebook's, you know, obviously in there. You'll see a lot of the same ones in there, but not as many. Okay, if I pull this over here and we do this, you're going to see, okay, quite a bit few more in this one than we have that one, because these have to be above their 200-day moving average. Let's take a look at some of these. And the sweet thing about this is you can sort these by moving average, okay? And then you can, I gotta do it one more time. Then you can go down here and get the ones that may be hugging the moving average. Let's take a look at this ABC. You can see it there, okay? Lower end of its 3-month range, and look at here, fighting this 200-day moving average there and fighting it there. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other ones that are close to the 200-day moving average. There you go. There's another one. Looked after yesterday, a big rejection wick through it and came back up. Today didn't form all that well, but nonetheless, still holding its 200-day moving average. Here's another one. Went down and tagged it today after a pretty big sell-off. So SAP, a very big software company that's been kind of beaten up lately. You can see it kind of dancing around. This is a foreign stock, okay? So be careful. It's what we call an ADR. A lot of gaps in stocks like this because they trade overnights in other markets. On the alert you just created for filling the gap, do you expect a bounce after it fill? Oh, a lot of times I do, Anthony. A lot of times I do. He's talking about the one I just marked up. I believe it was Sienna. Yes, anytime I see a gap like that, I will put an alert in it. A good couple of good examples recently is Snap. Textbook came down. Look at that. Filled the gap right there. Boom. There you go. There goes your rejection wick, and look what happened the subsequent days after that. Another good example, of course, it may have cratered by now. SunPower, these things have been all over the place, but once again, look at that. There's your gap. Same thing. Boom. Got my trigger. Boom. Look at that subsequent move after that. So yeah, anytime I see a gap like that, of course, you used to ask me if am I expecting it to do that. I'm not really expecting it to do anything, but I want to be alerted to when it happens, so I can check out and see what the market is doing. Okay, maybe check the volume, and if the volume's not, big when it does that wick, it's probably just algos, trying to shake out longs. But if I see that if this triggers and the market is just cratering down, there's so many variables go into trading. Maybe I would look for SunPower. Maybe I'll look at the other solars and see how they're holding up. If they're all crating, maybe I won't buy it. But yeah, I'd love opportunities like that. All right, so guys, yeah, just 3 examples. Let's see. Thank you, Waleed. I appreciate it. I will share this if somebody wants it. There's nothing magical about it. You guys saw what I did. I'm hoping in the future to build something maybe a little more creative. The problem with this is these kind of scans probably work better as scans versus alerts, but I may be able to put something together, maybe with some fundamentals or something. But okay, please share, Jeff says. I like to play with your scans. All right, let's go ahead. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I think I saved them all in here. And let me just go to my cloud here and 3-month. Okay, share, copy all. I'm just going to put in the chat window, guys. Okay, this is the one at the 200 day, so I'm just going to put 200. You guys can figure it out. And major support will be the next one. And I'll just call this support. And the last one is, I'll just put uptrend. I'll put the last one in there. There it is. All right, guys. Yeah, I have them all 3 in there, so you guys are welcome to grab them. Let's see. Okay, Jeff says, oh, snap really seemed to break the blue line. Could you speak? No, this is Anthony, I think. Could you? Well, remember, this is not for, I'm not talking about a day trade, okay? So if snap comes down here and honestly, this was my trigger and that was the high, the real gap fill would be at the body, okay? At the body would be the closing price of this candle right here. So yeah, it did break below it. You're not gonna catch these things anytime you're buying, stuff that's getting hit, you're not going to catch these perfect and catch them very low. I'm not worried about that. SunPower, same way. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not, once again, here's the body, okay? So the body was at, say, 71. The low of that candle was 40. So you're only talking about 30 cents below. So if I'm swing trading, I'm not worried about 30 cents. And not only that, remember, the trigger goes off, Anthony. The trigger goes off. I don't have a buy order out there. It's just an alert. So by the time the alert goes off and I pull it up, it could be down another 20 cents, so I could actually get a better price. But not only that, I'm not just reaching out and buying. These alerts go off right away. I'm surveying the market. I'm surveying the sector. I may take a small entry, maybe a starter position in something like that, maybe a 1/3 or 1/2, and then, play it from there. And then there's some cases where I just don't like it for whatever reason. Maybe the market's tanking, maybe the whole sector's tanking, and I'll just pass. But they can be really good, they can be really good buying opportunities. All right, guys, I am out of time. I'm out of town so much, I might as well say that too. You're welcome, Wally.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So let me pull this back up. You guys hang on. Scott will have a discount code for you.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, a couple items before we depart. We've got a summit coming up. It's going to be a great opportunity for networking and to see some insightful speakers. We've got a great lineup. You can check out the lineup at trade-ideas.com/summit. If you can attend in person, go ahead and secure a ticket now. We've still got some rooms left over in our reserved block of rooms at the Kimpton Hotel, which is right around the corner. So you can get a discount on those rooms, use the Summit SD code and get a discount on the tickets. We'd love to see you. If you can't come to San Diego, just go to the /livestream page and put in your email address so that you get notifications about how to watch the live stream on the date and also watch the replay if you can't hang out on Saturday and watch it at your home the whole day. It's going to be a full day, so lots of content. The event itself in San Diego is full. We cater it as breakfast, lunch, and a happy hour afterwards. So, like I mentioned, networking is outstanding. We also have a series of ebooks that Andy and Jamie have contributed chapters to. You can get those at trade-ideas.com/setup. Just put in your email address to get the download links and enjoy. There's 2 chapters per book. Each book is themed with a concept, and there's also some cloud links for you to grab from the books and put into your Trade Ideas layouts. It's a great deal because it's free, and it's got great information. We have a podcast. We've been back from the summer break and releasing new ones, so just search for Trade Ideas Podcast in your favorite app, hit subscribe, get ready for the next one, check out the previous editions, and if you scroll through some of the back issues, you'll find some interviews with other people that are outside of Trade Ideas, and they're pretty insightful. It's got good stuff. We have a discount code. Use this to upgrade from standard to premium or start any subscription or purchase Brokerage Plus to auto trade your AI strategies. Just use the code SAVE for summer, all caps, and put that in on the upgrade path or to purchase any subscription and save 15% off the first month or year, or 15% off any upgrade. And if you have any questions about anything, shoot us an email to info@trade-ideas.com. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. Steve Gomez is at Today Trader. We also have at Trade Ideas. And the Facebook handle is Trade Ideas Pro. Like our page so you get what we share and share that stuff with your friends. Thanks, everyone. We'll have the recording up later on tonight or tomorrow and send you an email reminder about how to find it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jamie and Andy. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Yep. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.